Brisa is a vibrant 32-year-old who enjoyed kickboxing and in the fast-paced life of a New York City hairstylist. Until one day, the unthinkable happened.
My daughter Brisa was very, very outgoing, always making us laugh.
When she walked into a room, it was Brisa's show. Very, very happy and really loved life.
Brisa had called me. She wasn't feeling right. She said, "Mom, my face is swollen. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm going to take a taxi to the nearby hospital. I'll call you when I get there." Brisa was at the hospital. She was telling me the doctors had just walked in. "I'll call you as soon as I find out anything." That was the last time I talked to her. Time had passed and they kept calling her and she wouldn't answer.
I'm sorry I missed your call. Leave me a message.
And that's when I knew something was wrong. I started getting phone calls from the doctors. He told me that my daughter was intubated and sedated, and he would explain everything to me when I got to the hospital. I went straight to the airport to get the first flight out to New York. I got there around 2 o'clock in the morning. When I ran up to the room, all I saw was my baby girl. She was hooked up to all these machines and not aware of anything around her.
There was no movement, there was no life, there was no anything.
I saw her laying in bed and with tubes all over her body. She didn't look good at all.
You start thinking, oh my God, am I gonna lose my baby? The doctors told me I would never have my daughter back the way she was.
Basically, she knew what was happening, but she was trapped in a body that she couldn't move, and that was really hard news to take. I had to leave the room. I couldn't do it.
I just refused to listen after that. I wasn't accepting any of it at all. They don't know my strength and my daughter's strength. I looked at my daughter. I said, "You're a fighter. You can do this. We're going to get out of this together."
Hi, you've reached Brisa. I'm sorry I missed your call. Leave me a message.
I knew that would not be the last time I hear my daughter's voice.
Brisa's mom, Linda, joins us, and I just wanted to ask you, Linda, as a mother, what was it like seeing your daughter like that?
When I walked in there and I saw my daughter, I said, "That's not my daughter. This is a dream. This is not happening. I'm going to wake up any minute." I walked in. She was unresponsive. All these tubes. It was hard to see her that way.
Yeah. And it was hard to accept what the doctors were telling you.
I was not going to accept anything. I wasn't going to do it. That's my daughter.
Doctors said Brisa would likely never be the same again, but Brisa had a different plan.
The doctors told us that she had less than 1% chance to gaining her mobility back.
As a family, we decided we're all going to do this together.
From the very beginning, all of the talk around Brisa had to be very positive.
Something in me just told me, just keep talking to her, would touch her forehead, and tell her, "I'm touching your forehead right now, baby girl. Follow my fingers, follow my fingers. I know you're in there.
We're here for you, we love you. You can hear us, like squeeze our hand." The first big sign of her recovery, they were holding her hand and she was looking at her hand, just focusing on it. And we were telling her, "Come on, Brisa, come on, open up your hand." And she couldn't move at all. All of us are standing around the bed, just like, you know, so nervous. She furrowed her eyebrows and just staring at her hand, and then all of a sudden, boom, she opened her hand. And that sent everyone into tears, joy. We lost it.
I said, "Okay, this is working. We got to do more." Her next milestone was a thumbs up.
She was getting stronger every day.
She would give us a peace sign. Every little thing that she did was just amazing. She would work and work. 2 months later, she was able to breathe on her own again. When the doctor came in and he took the trach out, he goes, "Now you can try to speak." She looked at me and she goes,
"Perfect! That was perfect!"
I heard my baby's voice again. That was amazing to hear her voice one more time.
They said she would never walk or talk again, but in what can only be described as a medical miracle, Brisa defied all those odds, and she joins us here today. Brisa, come on out. Wow. Welcome. Wow, you are truly a miracle and such a far cry.
Thank you.
From watching that video of you unable to move, laying there in bed, how did you get from there, what we're seeing there with all the two, how did you get from there to here?
I had faith. My family had faith in me. My family never gave up. They always knew I was going to be okay, and I couldn't disappoint them. I knew I had to be okay because they knew I had to be okay. So I worked hard at it, and I never gave up. And yeah.
I just want to clarify for our viewers that no two strokes are alike.
Right.
And in some cases, someone can have a stroke and not be aware of what's going on. But in this case, in a Pons stroke, that is the brainstem.
Right.
And it's like a way station. So you can have a thought, oh, I want to move my arm, but
you can't.
The signals do not travel through appropriately. Right. So the entire time, you were awake and aware of everything, but could not physically do anything.
Right. So basically, I was it's basically called locked-in syndrome. I was locked in my own body, and I wasn't able to communicate anything come in or out. Well, things were coming in, but I couldn't express that it was coming in. So it was basically like living a nightmare. But my mom would play at night while I was still locked in. My mom would play The Secret on loop, and I would listen to that, and she didn't know whether or not I was actually listening to it, but I was. And I realized so much through listening to that that I had the power, and I still have my arms and legs. I just have to connect the dots and make them move again, and that's what I really focused on.
Well, Brisa, not only do you have your arms and legs, you're running marathons again.
I am.
So let's talk about that. How did you get there?
Well, my doctors initially told me if you never regain movement on your left side, it's okay, you'll learn how to deal with it and we'll work around it. And I thought, no, I am gonna move again, I promise. And I did, and just to prove a point, I never was a runner before, but I needed to prove a point that I was gonna run a half marathon, so.
And now it's time to celebrate.
Definitely.
How do free tickets to see a J-Lo concert sound? Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino, they're gonna hook you and your family up to see her perform live at the Axis in Vegas. Also, the Red Rock Resort in Las Vegas is offering you all a 2-night stay in their 2-bedroom suite with complimentary spa treatments for each of you.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I have to say, I couldn't have done this without my family. All my cousins, my aunt, my mom, dad, everybody, especially my mom.
And you guys will now get to all celebrate and enjoy together. Have a wonderful time in Vegas and at the concert.
I just have to say, you were backstage, but while your piece was playing, the look of love on all of your faces towards Brisa is pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see. And modern medicine can do a lot of things, but modern medicine never matches up to the healing powers of a family. So I'm so happy you're doing well, Brisa.